Welcome everybody to this old time fiddle workshop. Today I'm going to be showing you how to play You Piney Mountain. This is a modal tune from West Virginia. It's very popular here. It's a very cool tune. It's played by many different fiddlers, so there's a lot of different versions. I'm going to be teaching you the version that I picked up from Ernie Carpenter. It's my take on his version. And You Piney Mountain is also related to the tune Blackberry Blossom by Ed Haley. It's very similar as well. So it's a really cool tune. There's a lot of different ways to play it. You can play it crooked, you can play it straight. It's in cross tuning, so go ahead and tune up your fiddles. You're going to want to have cross tuning, A cross tuning, so the strings from low to high will be A, E, A, E. And the way you get your fiddle tuned that way, if you're not familiar with it, is just take the G and D strings and bring them up a whole step to A and E. Your strings won't break as long as you don't over tighten them. And you'll get this cross A tuning, also known as sawmill tuning. This tune can also be played in cross G tuning, which is just GD, GD, or any other variant of cross tuning. I played it on my Appalachian String Band album. I recorded this in cross C tuning with a 5-string fiddle, so that's the way I do it as well. So the way I'm going to show this tune and break it apart is first I'm just going to play it at regular speed one time so you can familiarize yourself with the tune. Then I'll break it down and play it a little bit slower, just so you can see it in kind of slow motion what I'm doing. For advanced players, you can probably pick it up from the slower version. And then after that, I'll break down the tune into its fragments, into phrases, and we'll do a call and response thing where I'll play you a piece of the tune, then you'll have a chance to try to play it back. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and play it one time. This is You Piney Mountain. Here we go. So there you go. There's the tune played fast. Now I'm going to slow it down quite a bit and give you a little bit more detailed look at the melody and the phrasing before we break it apart. Here's the slow version. All right, that slowed down a little bit. You can see more of what's going on there. And now I'm going to break it into phrases. So, and after I break it into phrases, I'll then show you the bowing that I use to give you some hints on how you could approach the bowing on this tune, the way that I do it. So let's first break it into phrases here. We have the first phrase, which starts like this. Okay, so the way this video will work is I'll play that phrase and I'll give you a pause like that to play it back, and then I'll play the next phrase, give you a pause to play it back. And if you need to fast forward, rewind, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can even use the slow motion feature, which is pretty handy. All right, so here we go again. I'll break down the phrases. Here's the first phrase. Second phrase. Third phrase. Okay, so it's kind of like the first, but with just the those last notes put on. So there's the third phrase again. And then you have the tag. Okay, let's go through those again. This will be the second half of the A part, which is going to have the final tag in it. So, beginning phrase of the second half of the A part. Okay, once you get there, we're going to have the final tag of the A part, which sounds like this. Okay, so we'll put that together. It should sound like this. Okay, let's go over those phrases again on the A part. And don't worry about the bowing right now. I'm not doing the bowing the same way that I would if we played it a little bit quicker, so don't worry about the bowing at all right now. All right, back to those phrases. Second half of the A part. Oops, sorry, this goes like that. And then the tag. All right, let's put all those pieces together and just play the A part slow one time through. Oh, you know, I think I totally taught that wrong. I think we missed the high part. Let's see. We're leaving that part out. So my mistake. We have to add in this phrase to the A part. So after we get past this part, we're going to slide up to this E. Again, that section we left up. All right, figured it out now. Let's try to put that whole A section together, slowly. Now the timing is very confusing on that slide into that E part. Don't worry about that now. It's a bit crooked, and playing it slower just makes it more confusing on how the timing should go. But listen to how I played it in the beginning of the video, and you'll get a sense for the timing, and as you learn to speed it up, you'll be able to adjust your timing on that part. All right, so that's the A part right there. Alright, that's the A part. Pretty much the bowing I use. We'll break the bowing down here in a minute. Let's look at the B part now. The B part basically starts with this big slide lick and uses the tag from the A part as well. So a lot of the phrases in this section are borrowed from the first part. So let's look at it. It starts out with that slide and it walks up to it. That's the first phrase. Here's the second one. Ooh, now this is confusing at this speed. Let me try to play it a little bit faster and see where I'm at. Okay, so here's the first phrase. Second phrase. And third phrase. You get a little slide there on that C note. I'm also grabbing that G while my pinky is still down. If you have trouble with that or it's screeching, you can just let your pinky off for a minute. But I recommend training yourself to leave your pinky down and you'll get these two notes together. Which is also a really cool double stop that you can use in this tune as a variation. So let's go over those phrases again. Okay, moving on. Next set of phrases in the B part. And then the tag. Sorry, got lost there a minute. Trying to find my way through the tune too. It's tricky to teach these modal tunes. I haven't taught in a while. I'm trying to break these down in my head. Hopefully you're getting the idea. All right, let's go over the B part slow. It'll make a lot more sense. Also, you see that little triplet pull-off that's happening on the A string here between the pinky, third, and second finger. So, da-da-da-da. That's pretty cool. And we'll use a slur, of course, when we go to bow that, so it'll be nice and crisp and flow with the rhythm. All right, so here we go. We'll just play the phrases for the B part again. All right, one more more time on that B part. Also, I remember to add in this little note here on this string. See if you can catch it this time. That guy. All right, I think that's how it goes. We're going to speed it up a little bit, start to put it together, and see how many mistakes I made teaching it. All right, from the top, here is the A part played slow, the B part played slow. We'll play it a few times together. You can get your fingers around the melody, and then we'll look at how we bow this thing and iron out any little imperfections that we find. B part. One more time. All right, I think that's pretty close. Let's start taking a look at the bowing that we got going on there. This is pretty interesting bowing. It's a combination of just regular saw strokes where you're just putting one note per bow stroke, and kind of longer two-note slurs, which are a longer saw stroke where it's just two notes per bow. And then we're also going to add in some three-note slurs as well, which is really a classic bow stroke as well, especially in this style of fiddling, which they call the Upland South. The high Alleghenies, where these fiddlers were from, played in this style. At least that's what the professor types tell me. So yeah, let's look at this bowing. What I do here is to kick it off, I just do two saw strokes to get me in with these pickup notes, which are the open E, then the second finger on G, and then basically the downbeat starts on the ring finger here on the A note, and by that point I want to be going down, and then I start doing some slurs. So this is what the bowing is like on the first phrase. So it's just up and down for the pickup notes, and then we're going to slur these. Slur. So A to B and then A to G are just two-note slurs. Down, up. And then the rest of that phrase is pretty simple because it's just regular one note per bow in there. So the whole thing should look like this. And then the next phrase, the way we bow that, is that's pretty simple too. That's all there's no slurs in there, I don't think. So if we put these two together, this is what the bowing should be. Pretty simple. Really, the only slurs in there are between A and B and A and G. Now what I do is, because I end this phrase on this up bow, the next phrase starts, I actually tend to slur the two pickup notes on the second phrase with the same bow stroke. So it would look like this. I'll continue that out and show you the rest of the bowing there. But you can either slur with the up stroke, continuing from the first phrase into the second phrase. You can slur across the bar there and get all those notes on upstroke, or you can just go back to the same bowing we used and break up the pickup notes by just going down up and then get back down on the A note, which is really important because that's the downbeat, and that'll help you really feel the beat and get into the bowing pattern if you make sure you land on that down on the A. But let's look at the rest of it here. So let's see what we got. So we got, that's all the same bowing, just the two note slurs. That's where we get into the three note slur. That's three notes on one upstroke. And then we're going to do the same thing on the next string. So and then we're going to kind of do a bow rock and a push at the end to end that phrase. So here's that little bit again, which is a really cool three note slurs. All right, so that's pretty much the bowing we have for that part of the A part. Then we're going to move on to this slide up to the E. I'm not so clear on this, how to break this down. At least on the beginning part. I guess you'll do a two note slur here between the C and the D, second and third finger. And that with an up, and then we have this tag. We'll do all single strokes until we get to the very lowest string, or we'll do that three note up bow again. And then again, we'll do that on this three note up bow on that string too. So pretty much the same bowing that we used earlier in that part, where we're kind of doing these three note up bows on the notes that happen between the second and the third finger, and then we end on a down with a kind of rock up. So here's that tag one more time. That's what it should sound like sped up. Why don't I try playing the whole A part through at kind of mid-tempo, and you can see all the bowings. You can try practice playing along. I messed that up a little bit, but that's the idea. That's it. Oh, woo! All right, let's take a look at the how to bow the B part, which should be a little bit more familiar because it's just kind of borrowed parts from the A part. Pretty similar bowing, so that's all played with the down, up, up. Squeaking. That's kind of just a quick walkthrough of the bowing of the B part. The other cool thing about this tune is that you can hit these big drone strikes if you're going into drone strikes. Haha. If you're going into one of these lead notes on the downbeat, like. All right, and there you have it. Let's play it together a few more times, and you can fast forward and rewind this video and kind of get an idea how to break that down a little bit more. And good luck with this tune, You Piney Mountain, the Ernie Carpenter way from wild and wonderful West Virginia. I'm Chance McCoy, and thank you so much for watching this lesson.